My name is Brent Novoselsky. I played 7 years in the NFL. I was born and raised in Chicago and played a year for the Bears in 1988. Went to Green Bay for the off-season, got cut there, and then played for the Minnesota Vikings for 6 more years.
Sure.
Fondest memories, 1989, last game of the season, Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. Caught a touchdown pass to help us win the game and go to the playoffs. I was more of a special teams expert, and my job was to run down and to cause havoc at a 40 to 50 yard pace. I always like to tell people that playing special teams in the NFL is very similar to going out to a forest preserve, putting on a helmet, closing your eyes as tight as you can, running as fast as you can. When you hit the first tree, you got to get up as quick as you can. You keep running. You hit the second tree, you got to get up, and then you can open your eyes. And I enjoyed doing it because it's not what a lot of the players wanted to do. It was thought of as kind of the dirty job, and it was back then. And most games I was dinged if you will, which just simply meant for about a quarter I really couldn't see straight. If you threw a ball at me, it would probably hit me in the face, but I could discern colors, and my eyesight would be kind of jittery, and I couldn't focus on the scoreboard. But you know what? You did what you had to do. Unfortunately, after 7 years of doing this, made a tackle on November 27th, 1994, and it was the last tackle because the guy's knee hit me in the shoulder, popped out my disc, so my C4-5 disc had to have it removed, and I've got a plate and 4 screws in there, along with a lower disc that had to be replaced a couple of years ago, and that's it. You can't play football anymore, wind up paralyzed. So right from retirement, I went and started working at Greater Chicago Group, otherwise known as GCG, doing insurance investments for individuals and small and mid-sized companies. I've been there 21 years now. I would go and I would do talks. I always do a lot of talks for youth groups and kids and organizations, and about leadership, about goal setting, about the fact that I was a Jewish kid from Skokie who actually played in the NFL. You know, how do you do that besides just not having a belief that you can't? But I enjoy doing those speeches, and about 5 or 6 years ago, I was doing speeches or I was talking with people, and I would notice that I was losing words. Very simple words, like we'd be talking to each other, and I'd say, you know, the thing you sit on, and you say a chair. And I say, yes, I just couldn't come up with these words, and the best way I can describe it is I had this like black hole in my mind that I would be searching out these words that I could find so easily in the past, and they would just plummet down that. I just could not grab them. So I was fortunate enough to meet Bob at a networking event, and Bob told me what he did, and I said, okay, you know, I'm more than happy to try anything. I mean, it was just a computer and Bob with a lot of gooey substance that he put on my head and made my hair look like I just woke up from bed. You know, he gave me the worst bed head in history. But what I was finding with Bob's treatment were that after a half an hour to an hour of being with Bob and going through the treatment, I felt so much more relaxed. I slept tremendously the night of a treatment, and my recollection, my recall of words seemed to come back pretty quickly. Plus, Bob's just a wonderful coach. So just talking with him as a sidelight to doing the treatment would have been great enough, but then talking with Bob, talking through some work issues, some personal issues, he's a very good sounding board. So it kind of worked out as an all-in-one treatment for me. What I've noticed is in the past, with a concussion, you feel like you're in a fog. You feel like you're almost looking down from here, down through your head, and not really living life, not really being able to concentrate on the present. And that's something that this has allowed me to do, is really focus, really be in the present, really be clear. That's the biggest thing, is not having the fog, not having the thoughts, the wild thoughts go through my head. It's not intrusive, it's not invasive. You don't feel any pain, you don't feel really anything as you're going through the treatment. The hardest thing was keeping myself awake during the treatments, because it is kind of soothing. It is, Bob's voice can be a little methodical, and on purpose, I believe, for the treatment. So the biggest thing would be Bob having to wake me up during the treatment, but you do feel, you get a little sweaty, and it's like, wow, I'm not doing anything, but yet your brain is working. So for anybody that's nervous about it, all I would tell them is just try it. And that's what we would tell guys that had issues. I get calls all the time because I run the NFL Players Association, the former players chapter in Chicago, and I would get calls from guys that were depressed, suicidal, and I would definitely just give them Bob's number. Say, go in and talk to Bob. Definitely go in and talk to him. Just talk to him, go through a treatment, just see how it makes you feel. And Bob's helped out a tremendous amount of guys.